And now, broadcasting live from Las Vegas, the Snake Sports Talk Show with Jake Silva starts now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We are live. We are back here on the Snake Sports Talk Show, wherever and however you may be watching and listening. Thanks for making us a part of your day. iHeartRadio, Roku, and all social media platforms on demand for you to like, subscribe, and also follow us wherever and however you guys get your podcasts and more. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. Is the night. It's all on the line. Padres, Dodgers. Oh, yeah. We are ready for a good one, folks. Plus, week 6 of Prime Predictions is also going to be on the way as well. And so we're going to tap in with our good folks up on IG, getting everybody there so that we can end up watching the show. But hope you guys are having a great week. I know this weekend it's going to be a lot of fun, but so much to talk about. NFL season still going amazingly strong. Lots of different storylines, but boy, is it a very, very good one. All right, so I want to talk about last night. I caught at least, bits and pieces of the game. And as of what I've seen, and I cannot believe I made this mistake last night, for the fact that I ended up going for the Seahawks instead of the San Francisco 49ers. Boy, was that a big mistake. So last night just basically told you everything that you needed to know about Brock Purdy and with the Niners. So as I've been saying it before, we've been trying to figure out exactly what we see with Brock Purdy. And I think this was arguably clear. Brock Purdy is he's a game managing type quarterback. Something that I think someone who ended up saying, game manager or game changer. I mean, he manages the game. We all are game managers in our own lives, and I think we can be okay with that. Now, I think the scrutiny when it came to Brock Purdy is because, he has all these weapons. He has all these running backs. He has these guys, on this roster. But yet people mistake the fact that Brock Purdy is, in fact, smarter than you think. He may not be a Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or any of these star quarterbacks or Lamar. Okay, we already got that. But he's smart enough with the football IQ. He's able to distribute the ball any and every way that he can possible. And Brock Purdy last night, 18 of 28, 270 70 yards total with 3 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, the guy is who he is. And not only that, but we've also seen other guys step up. Isaac Guerrero, do you remember the kid from Louisville? He stepped up in a big way. 10 carries, 99 yards. Jordan Mason, before he went down with the injury, 9 carries, 73 yards. So this Niners group, and even when you saw Debo and George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk, I mean, there were guys that were there. So with Purdy having at least Debo and Kittle back, of course it would end up boosting a lot of confidence, but you also got to think of the other side too. Geno Smith did not look like his best. But when you think of Brock Purdy, he's smart enough that he's going to distribute the football to any and every of his weapons, whether it's not Kittle, whether it's not Debo. I mean, you're seeing it right now. Look at where Brandon Ayuk is right now. 2 catches with 37 yards. He's barely making himself available. So that has been kind of the big question mark. But I think a lot of that had to be on Brandon Ayuk's shoulders. And rightfully so for those reasons. But Brock Purdy is, in fact, somebody that I think, should pay. Because I don't believe they should pay him high-end, top dollar money. I don't care what a lot of these guys end up saying, whether it's up on social media or whatever, that they think that, they're going to pay Brock Purdy $55, $60 million per year. No, I don't think the Niners are that naive to really end up doing that. Okay, they're smart enough. They understand who Brock Purdy is, what he has. It's a lot of those intangibles, but he's not physically gifted, and I think they understand that, and then they could be okay with it. But for the most part, you can kind of see this exactly as it goes. And Brock Purdy is smart enough. He's going to make anything happen. I know it may not look this way, but Brock Purdy is in fact the real deal, and he works for Kyle Shanahan and the Niners. He really does. The only one who flourished in the system, the only one who basically understood the task, understood exactly what it meant to be in this kind of situation and scenario, and I think it works. It works perfectly for him. So why not? I think Brock Purdy is, in fact, worth the deal. He's worth every penny you give. I don't think you should break the bank for him, but I do believe you should give him a solid chance. All right, so here's one interesting thing. So Davante Adams, we know. There's been 3 potential suitors that have come in. Okay, 3. And that is the Jets, the Saints, and the Steelers. So as of right now, those are those options. But there is one other option that's been hanging on, and that is the Buffalo Bills. They've said they have been, quoting, monitoring the situation. So Davante Adams, as we know, he's a high commodity. We know he's somebody that is obviously wanting out of town in Vegas, and I don't blame him. I mean, Davante Adams, we knew that this was honestly going to be a relationship that was going to go south. The second that Derek Carr ended up leaving and they just kind of hung him dry, I mean, this was bad. It was bad to begin with. So now you're starting to see Davante Adams he's getting pissed. At the same time, he's disappointed in this organization. I have a lot of very close people of mine who are very close with the Raiders and can see this. I mean, this is no joke. In fact, Davante Adams basically showed us what it was on receiver. You could tell he's disappointed, he's pissed, and he wants to be in a better place. But understand one thing when it came to Davante Adams. I started thinking about this situation when it came to Randy Moss. Think about it. When Randy Moss, early on in his career in Minnesota with Chris Carter and multiple others, I mean, that was a great Vikings offense. Okay, they were getting him the football, all right, and he was basically mossing everybody in the end zone. That's where the, quote, moss came from, was because Randy Moss was just a one of a kind. I mean, you start looking at Megatron at his time, in Detroit. Calvin Johnson was amazing. And he was hardly ever hurt. There were times where he got injured, but the guy was still productive at his size and just at his skill level. That's enough that you could get. So when I think of Davante Adams with this, I think of this like Randy Moss. When Randy went to the Raiders, look at how many times he was scoring. Look at how many times he was staying out on that field. I mean, you're in a division with Patrick Mahomes twice a year. You're in a division with Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh twice a year, who bring a lot of physicality now. And you've got the Broncos now with Bo Nix and Sean Payton in that defense, and they're playing pretty competitive. You're facing them twice a year. And the Raiders right now clearly do not have a quarterback. They just sat Gardner Minshew after a terrible outing. Now they have Aiden O'Connell. This thing ain't working right. So amongst the Jets, Saints, and Steelers, here's what I will break down with all 3 of those options before I get to Buffalo. The Jets, they just fired Robert Saleh, and they demoted Nate Hackett. It's all on Aaron Rodgers at this point if Davante Adams goes there. And if they don't make the playoffs and this becomes a sad embarrassment, you know what's going to happen to this organization. They're going to get rid of Aaron. They're not going to end up dealing with this stuff. They're going to end up coming out and saying, well, they got manipulated. Well, no kidding. You've been manipulated from day one. Like Aaron Rodgers is himself. This is who he is. And he's not going to change. So it is kind of a hard set when you look at it that way. How about the Saints? Well, after 2 weeks of cooking, they now have Derek Carr, who's hurt, and that was the whole point of it, was to reunite with Derek Carr again. But now Carr's hurt for multiple weeks. They got to start with Spencer Rattler, Dennis Allen. Now this offense started to get slow. It wasn't like the first 2 weeks with the Saints, and it seems like this roster is, in fact, getting old on defense. It's not exactly blocking the same. It's not exactly, giving you the same kind of intensity that you think you get. So the Saints, I don't know about that place. And then finally the Steelers, who the Steelers have so many attitude problems. I mean, they've been dealing with attitude problems for years. Antonio Brown, get him out of town. Le'Veon Bell, get him out of town. Martavis Bryant, get him out of town. George Pickens now, they're limiting exactly how many targets that he gets because of attitude issues. But this is what you signed up for. You really think Davante Adams wants to be a part of that? And I mean, I get it with Mike Tomlin, but Tomlin is a player's coach. But right now, when you've got attitude problems in the locker room, and then not to mention, this is a BB gun offense with Justin Fields. And then you've got Russell Wilson in the middle of this mix that not a lot of people are confident with. So you're telling me those are the three best fits? I don't see it. So the one that, of course, is monitoring is the Buffalo Bills. And let me just tell you exactly why I think the Buffalo Bills should, in fact, pursue Davante Adams. Okay. Unlike in Stephon Diggs' case, we know that they got out of drama with Stephon Diggs. And you could tell Josh Allen doesn't put up with drama queens. Okay, that's not what he's about. I mean, this is a kid from Wyoming in a small town, okay? He's very competitive. He's accurate, and he does literally everything. Passing, running, all sorts of stuff. He gets physical. And the Bills, the only problem right now is that there are times and moments where Sean McDermott could get conservative. I never had a problem with Joe Brady, their offensive coordinator. Once they made that move, Josh Allen looked a lot better. But Sean McDermott is, in fact, in that hot seat. And what you saw without Khalil Shakir the past week, look at how that offense really played. Wide receivers weren't getting open. They weren't getting any separation. And it felt really hard for Josh Allen to really distribute the football. Even though Josh could do amazing things. But then Josh ended up getting his bell rung by the time that he ended up getting slammed on the ground. I don't think it should have been. And that was the one thing that was so skeptical about Sean McDermott and the rest of that organization, because why would you throw him out there if he's on concussion protocols? That's the part I never understood. I know Josh is tough, but he's not inhuman. Okay? So, but he is a star quarterback nonetheless. And what Davante Adams brings to the table, I know it's Buffalo, and I know it sucks when it gets cold right after, once you get into like the late November, like all the way up to February, it sucks. Okay, I've never been upstate, but I have been in cold weather. I live in a cold weather state in Colorado. Okay, it gets cold. You got to get built for it. And we know Davante Adams, he's been in Green Bay before, so it's not like this should honestly be a problem. But think about what you do have as far as pro tangibles. You've got an offensive coordinator in Joe Brady who could fix this whole thing up, and he's very clever. You've got Josh Allen, star quarterback. You've got stability in the organization with Brandon Beane and multiple others. The only question mark, of course, is Sean McDermott, because his job's on the line. Because once he gets conservative, this team does not end up performing the same. So Davante Adams, I feel like, could be that good fit for Buffalo. And for Buffalo, this is kind of the added firepower that you've been needing. Okay, Khalil Shakir, I like the kid. Once he gets hurt again, the offense feels flat. You got to put a lot of the pressure on a rookie, Keon Coleman, and how is he going to produce? And then there's Curtis Samuel and multiple others. They could not get, you couldn't even get the run game going. So I just feel like Davante Adams, and I get it, there's part of it where you kind of have to swallow a bit about how he feels and all the rest of it, whatever. But I just think this just seems right. It seems right. It looks right. I don't have a problem with it. So, but by that point, there is the point you got to end up making. So if you're the Bills, because this is the other thing that you're also trying to do, because Rashee Rice is out for the season. You're trying to do any and everything at whatever it takes to stop Kansas City in the tracks. Okay? And yeah, they're 5-0 on a bye week. But they're 5-0. They're winning games. Nobody knows exactly how exactly they're winning games when Mahomes already has 6 interceptions total. Okay, and that's the part that I think kind of confuses everybody. But it's the mental warfare. They're winning. Okay, they're not winning a lot of these games based on skill. They're winning a lot of these based upon the mental warfare. So I get it, but this is where Buffalo really has to make a push for. I do. I know they got out of the whole dispute between. I know they got out of the whole dispute when it came to Stephon Diggs, and it's this is the way that it is. Now, I will say, because Davante Adams is in fact a remarkable receiver, able to get separation, able to get yards, catches. I mean, could it be that bad? Maybe it might be perfect when you're in a winning culture, and maybe things like that could start to change if you are Davante Adams. So, like I said, I just would honestly give it some thought with this. But I would definitely see the Buffalo Bills honestly making this move. I do. All right, got a lot to talk about. We got prime predictions right up around the corner. I'm also going to be previewing a little bit of the tonight's game between the Dodgers and the Padres in the NLCS Game 5, because this is going to be a very intense and exciting. I'm also going to talk a little bit more about some of New York sports like the Mets and where the Yankees are right now, because both of them are in the championship series, and what this means for at least the state of New York. So exciting stuff. Can't wait to talk about it here coming up. All right, folks. Well, I will tell you this. I just got my brand new Snake Sports Talk Show hat from my very own Snake Sports Talk Show merchandise, filled with so many goodies, so many great merchandise catalog, so many merchandise options for you. Hats, hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeves, so much more based upon your favorite show on the internet, all over, and on Roku and on iHeartRadio. You want to rep up for the show? Go online. Link is in the bios on all of my social medias, and of course on my LinkedIn, on my Linktree as well. So looking for the Linktree, click it, and it'll send you right to the link to get you the online shop. Shipping's great. Shipping's been fast. I can't even believe how fast this came in. It just came in literally before the show. Very great quality, great customized logos, and so much more. All just to rep for your favorite show here on the internet. That's the Snake Sports Talk Show merchandise store. So click the link in the bio and shop today to rep for your favorite show.
Looking for a show with the best takes and opinions? Want a show with the best coverage around the world of sports? Jam-packed with an all-star interview lineup? Then the best place to find it all, sports and entertainment, is right here. Join Jake Silva on the Snake Sports Talk Show, presented by SeatGeek and BetUS. Weeknights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sports Wave Network.
Listen up, sports fans. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite sports, including NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. We've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest new European slots, and our live dealers are waiting for you at the table. Sign up at BetUS.com today to get into the action. BetUS, where the game begins.
Check out the Con Man live on the Sports Corner, coming to a screen near you, giving you the greatest stories from basketball legends you've never seen before. Sharing their glory, building the toughness, and how they show off their swag. But only one man knows all that, and that's the Con Man. Join Michael Conceição, the Con Man, at the Sports Corner, Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific on Sports Wave Network.
Want to find your seat for the event of your choice but can't get one that fits your desire or your budget? Well, my friends, SeatGeek has you covered. SeatGeek is the official sponsor of the Snake Sports Talk Show. With a list of over hundreds of events to choose from, SeatGeek will assure you that you won't miss your seat with the amazing view of your choice at the most affordable price. Whether it's looking for your best seat in the house of your favorite sports team, finding live concerts that get you closer to your favorite artist, or enjoying your spot at your favorite live shows, comedies, and more, SeatGeek has it all just for you. Go online to SeatGeek.com or download the app on your mobile device through Google Play and the App Store. And as a special offer before checkout, use promo code SNAKESPORTS and save yourself $20 off of your purchase of your first ticket, and experience why SeatGeek is the most trusted ticketing app for your next event. Remember, that's SeatGeek.com, and download the app on your phone with promo code SNAKESPORTS for $20 off and find your seat with SeatGeek.
All right, so tonight is the night in Hollywood and in Chavez Rookie. So there's a lot to really look forward to here in this game between the Padres and the Dodgers. And boy, has it been a really, really good series between the two of them. I will tell you this, because they have, in fact, both these teams have just built this rivalry for a very long time. But now it's crazier and it's bigger than ever, because the fact that you got Manny Machado throwing a baseball into the Dodgers dugout, you got Fernando Tatis Jr. like getting red hot, but yet the Dodgers with Mookie Betts and company, I mean, this is going to be an outstanding division series tonight. But it is important for at least both these teams, because right now, tonight, you've got Yu Darvish and you've got Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And one of my big things, and you're facing against the New York Mets, and I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that here on the program. But the Dodgers, at least in this division series, has not quite hit the same. And this has been the last few years with the Dodgers. They love the big hits. They love exactly, the flashy, the firework, all the rest of it, and it's classy. Whereas you got the Padres who they basically play loose. I mean, Darvish pitching well, Dylan Cease at times ended up getting themselves out of certain jams, and then Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jackson Merrill, most of these guys, and even with Luis Ariz that they got early on in the season. I mean, this is not a Padre team that's just an easy walk in the park. This Padres group looks for real, and they fight like it. And to me, when I think of how the Padres have been playing out, especially in this particular series, I mean, they've got some hitters. They got guys that can honestly end up making plays, and they've got guys that they know that they can trust and rely on in any of these situations. The Dodgers, however, because starting pitching had been quite the problem. I mean, Yamamoto in this division series has already got an ERA up of 15. And that's been difficult. But the Padres, I mean, they give the run of the money to the Dodgers. But the Dodgers, as you've known, I mean, Shohei Ohtani hasn't even played great in this division series either. So there's a lot of nick and nag, and there's a lot of really good close call battles here. And the Dodgers have also dealt with some injuries. So I just feel like because with this particular matchup, it's a great rivalry. Okay, it's a great rivalry. Nonetheless, I mean, this is kind of what you would expect. And in my opinion with this, when I look at both these teams, either one of them is going to be a serious problem against the Mets. But the Mets have turned their season around. I'll get to them here later on. But it's going to be a great championship series in the National League. And both these teams have real good quality pitching, even though I do think the Padres have more of the edge than the Dodgers. And both, of course, on their lineups, I think the Padres play a little bit more loose. I mean, Tatis is hitting the ball everywhere and even out of the park. You got the Dodgers with Mookie Betts with 2 leadoff home runs already. He's starting to finally find his groove. Okay, and it's been quite a while. He hasn't found it for quite some time. But they're also getting some defensive plays. Tommy Edmonds getting involved. All these guys. So this has been a really, really tough series all the way up into this ending point. And I know a lot of people, Dodger fans up out there. My old man's a Dodger fan. My wife's a Dodger fan. A lot of people that I've seen and come across, and I've watched the Dodgers in person and even with Shohei Ohtani 3 times now this season. And it's remarkable with what you can see with the Dodgers. But this has been a Dodger problem for a very long time when it comes to pitching, because starting pitching often at times, depending on who's there on the bump, doesn't really end up panning out and really performing as good. So they have to expect a lot from their offense. But that's exactly with how they are. But they're all about the big swings. You can't be like that in these types of situations. You got to be able to get guys up on base. You got to be able to at least string in some runs. You're not doing that. It becomes a serious problem. And I just feel like with the Dodgers, this is important for them tonight, because they've already stretched so much of the payroll from $1 billion this year in this offseason, and they've stashed it away for a very long time. And this is now not the position you want to be in. You don't want to be close to elimination. I mean, this is kind of just what it is. I mean, look, I've been to San Diego before. My wife and I, we've been there. That was where, I asked the question, right? And that was where the whole history began. Okay, and San Diego's beautiful. It's beautiful when the sun's out. And then when you go right there to the 405 and the 5, I mean, that's where you have that whole connection that goes right there to San Diego to Los Angeles. Okay, and San Diego, they've been needing something really good for a long time. They're fully invested in the Padres. And unfortunately for the Chargers, once Dean Spanos took that team away and ripped the heart of that fan base out and took them to Los Angeles, it just wasn't the same. Everybody gave up on the Chargers there. There are still some diehard day ones that are out there, and I know they're everywhere. But this in particular, I mean, they are all in and invested. So I just think with the Padres, I mean, they are a very loose team. And this was a team that was humming. They were humming for quite a while. I mean, they're not a team to really sleep on, and neither do you want to push these guys around. So the Dodgers have had their hands full throughout this entire series. And it's one that I think we honestly have been very entertained by. So it is it's incredible with how we see it. But tonight is, in fact, the night. I'm crossing my fingers, hoping that the Dodgers prevail, but I would not be surprised if, coming out of the rabbit's hat, the Padres end up coming up with something that I think is going to be really entertaining and fun. And, again, either one of these teams could probably make hell for the New York Mets. I have a feeling. And you know what? I'd be all right with that. Either one of these teams. But we know it's important for the Dodgers because the fact that you spent all this money on Shohei Ohtani, you have a guy like Teoscar Hernandez who's hit 30-plus homers this season on a one-year deal. You probably would want to bring him back. So there's a lot on the line for this. Mookie Betts not hitting well. Now he's started to hit 2 solo home runs. So he's finally starting to see a stroke. Freddie Freeman, he's been dealing with an injury too. So there's all kinds of questions. There's all kinds of questions. But I think what's clear is that this is one the Dodgers could not. They could not end up dropping this series tonight, especially when you're there in Chavez Ravine. I mean, it says it right here, right here on the title. This is a perfect Hollywood ending. But you would not want it to be a bitter ending, especially in Los Angeles, because then you're never going to talk it down. I'm sure probably by the end of that, Wild Man probably might call me and probably be screaming obscenities by the end of the night. That's usually what happens. But, again, you can be very sure that this is going to be a fun Game 5, and I can't wait for it. So, all right. Going to be taking a break here. When we come back, prime predictions right up around the corner. Have it all ready for you. I'm really confident this week about it. So, definitely can't wait to share it with all of you guys. Be back here in just about a few minutes.
Snake Sports Talk Show is sponsored by Muscle Tech, with hundreds of supplements and vitamins to choose from, all packed with 100% all-natural proven ingredients. You can be sure that Muscle Tech will give you the edge and the boost to train and look like your fit and healthy best, whatever your goals are. Try Muscle Tech today and use promo code SNAKESPORTS to save 30% off your purchases.
Well, tonight it all goes down in Chavez Ravine between the San Diego Padres and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Can the Dodgers prevail and make their way to the NLCS with a date against the New York Mets? Or could the San Diego Padres spoil the fun against their division rival and make it into the NLCS? Check your local listings wherever you may be, all live on Fox between the Padres and Dodgers Game 5 tonight. All right, folks. Well, of course, it is that time again where we have our prime predictions. Love bringing these up. Now, this here I'm really confident on because this one in particular, it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of favorites I like, a lot of them. And I think with how things are going to honestly pan out, this is the moment. The favorites this week, I feel a lot better with. This is honestly going to prove a lot. And I'm so glad that, I'm on a winning streak right now, trying to keep up. And so here we go. Week 6. We are fired up for this one. Let's take it away.
Let's turn it up. It's Jake's Prime Predictions.
All right, so the Jags and the Bears, which is the early morning window, I am going to take the Chicago Bears at -1. Listen, the Jags on a short week, especially on the road, international, doesn't really look promising to me. I think, honestly, when you look at it for many multiple purposes, the defense has been playing a lot better for Chicago, and Caleb Williams in the last 2 games, he's looked much, much better. He looks much more poised, much more comfortable in the pocket. And I think now this is kind of where the turn-up goes. The Bears have been playing some quality football now in the last couple of weeks. I'm glad they cleaned up a bit of that reckless football that they've been playing for quite some time. I'll take them here with the points at -1, and I'll get them to win early morning schedule slate and get them to win 24-20. Now, this is a fun one for me, and I love where the Packers are. I'm going to take the Packers at -5.5. I get Jordan Love, I get Christian Watson, and Romeo Doubs back with Jaden Reed, who has been at the front of the helm. Jordan Love still continuously being productive, and especially up in Lambeau. In the last couple games, the Arizona Cardinals defense, I have not liked with the way things have produced for them. Giving up points, giving up too many yards. I mean, this is not exactly a defense that is screaming shutdown, and especially against an opponent in Lambeau with Green Bay. I feel like Jordan Love is going to have himself a very comfortable day. I'll take the -5.5. Love the favorite on this one. Green Bay wins this game 28-20. All right, the Colts and the Titans. This was an interesting one for me because I do feel like the Colts right now are a bit of in a funk. I'm going to take the Titans coming off of a bye week because here's my deal with this. Hopefully this took enough time for Will Levis to clean up the mistakes, get the act together, and come in this week with some serious fire. By the way, has anybody paid attention to this Tennessee defense? They lost a lot of notable names, but you know what? I love their defensive group, and I think a lot of this has to do with their defensive coordinator. Titans have been stopping a lot of their opponents, whether it's on the rush or it's against the pass. And I think the Titans defense, it's going to be noteworthy against a team that has been dealing with mistake after mistake, I'll take the Titans here at home to beat their division rival Colts with a -3, 27-20. All right, it is Drake May Day, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I'm going to take the New England Patriots +7 in New England. First of all, nobody's got film on Drake May. Okay, that is the norm. And I think we already understand and we kind of know that. The Texans' offense, however, it hasn't quite scored all the way up to about 27+. And that's kind of been a bit concerning for the Houston Texans. Even though I love their group, they are very executional. But here's the deal. It's progress every single week. What I've been told from a lot of close friends of mine is Drake May, he's been progressing every single week up in practice. In the last 2 games in the preseason, he has fixed up a lot of his flaws. He's moving out of the pocket. He seems more accurate. I don't think New England wins this game, to be honest, but with 7 points, give me the points on the Patriots. I think the Texans do take away this one on the road, 27-24, with the addition of the Patriots +7. All right, another division matchup indeed with the Saints and the Buccaneers. I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints here at +3.5 at home. Now, a division rival matchup, just like the NFC South, it's a little bit, unpredictable. Now, the other one I will get to in a bit, but this one in particular because it's both really good divisional rivals. So, the Buccaneers, we know Baker Mayfield's been cooking and absolutely cooked the birdies in Philly. And another thing, the Saints' offense has kind of looked stale since the first 2 weeks. Now, they are going with Spencer Rattler this week because now rumor reports Derek Carr is out for a couple of weeks with an injury, so they're going to go with a rookie. And, of course, just like Drake May, there's no film on him, so that means there's going to be plenty of time to experiment and see exactly what the kid's got with Clint Kubiak. And hopefully he can get this offense back up on track. I think the Saints, they drop it against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Bucs do come in with some fire, but it's going to be a very close one. 3.5 points, 28-27 is my final score. The Bucs win it, but I'll take the Saints points as a way of seeing what the rookie can do. This betting line was horrible. I couldn't even believe how this kind of stood out. I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns by +9.5. Have you seen the Eagles' performances in the last few weeks? I get it. They're getting A.J. Brown back, but this looks like a mess from Philadelphia. Don't get me wrong. I think the Eagles may win this game, but this has not looked good. Cooper DeJean, though, he is returning. We'll finally get a chance to see the rookie in person, and hopefully we'll see exactly what he has on defense, and hopefully it picks up a lot of the defensive miscues. But offensively, outside of Saquon Barkley, and when A.J. Brown was gone, you could clearly see how marginalized this team was. Jalen Hurts, he started to get mistake-prone. I feel like the Browns' defense might do whatever it takes. I know these are a battle of both messes, but I do think the Browns drop it. Eagles win at home 24-17, but that 9.5 is screaming, give me the Browns to cover it there at +9.5. All right, this is the entertaining, thrilling game. Commanders at Ravens. I'll take the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson is now 21-1 against NFC opponents. Keep that in mind. Now, we know both these quarterbacks almost look mirroring image identical because the fact that both are very elusive, both have been very accurate, and I think Jaden Daniels, though, however, has a better pocket presence than I would say Lamar Jackson does. This is going to be an interesting toe-to-toe game, though. However, I do feel like Lamar might end up giving a little bit of a show-up against the rookie. Now, Washington has done a very good job with holding up points, but I think with how hard Baltimore plays, with Derrick Henry at the tailback, who's finally starting to get alive, I will take the Baltimore Ravens at M&T Bank Stadium to win this game. It's going to be an entertaining thriller, however, between both these star quarterbacks. I'll take them to win 28-20 with a little show-up against Jaden Daniels. All right, now I wish I could have been up at this game here on Sunday. Unfortunately, I will not, but that doesn't stop me from watching this game. I'll take the Chargers at -3 coming off of a bye. When Jim Harbaugh comes off a bye, he has a very good record. And not to mention, they're getting both their tackles back. Everybody has been present at practice. And Justin Herbert, he's finally off the injury report. Off the boot, off the stuff. He's ready to go. And that's what it needed. It was an extra rest. That bye week last week did not seem so bad for the Chargers. Now, the Broncos defense has been very shut down. Now, this is a tale of both defenses who've been playing stellar this year. But I feel like right now, with the way that the Broncos have been playing, I don't see them potentially making this winning streak. I think because the Chargers come off a bye and Jim Harbaugh and the way that he comes off of this kind of a situation, the Chargers are going to be ready to feast. But they got to get the offensive pass play going. But I will take the Chargers here to play some ground and pound football with a lot of quality passes in Mile High. And I think it'll be a fun game, 24-17. All right, so this looks a little bit wonky to me, but of course a team that travels well, I'll take the Pittsburgh Steelers -3. Here's the problem right now with the Las Vegas Raiders. They clearly do not have a quarterback. They're going to want to draft one. Devontae Adams is not happy. He wants out. And right now they've just kind of been suffering some injuries and key pieces. Christian Wilkins is now officially done for the season. That kills them on that front line. So that means Max Crosby is back on his own again, where he has to be the defense. And the Raiders right now, they've been playing like a hot mess. They started initially in the game where there was some promise to them, and then they just started crashing down hard on their same old ways. But Pittsburgh, they travel well. I don't like their quarterback situation or how their offense has been playing recently. But the defense, sure line, especially with some key injured pieces on the offensive line. I'll take the Steelers here to win on the road, a team that travels well, 24-17. All right, so the last time these two met, the Cowboys ended up bailing on this one. I don't think they bail on this time. I'll take the Detroit Lions -3. Now, the offense is finally starting to come alive for the Detroit Lions. I like with how everything that I've seen. Jared Goff barely passed the ball last time 18 times. So now they're coming off a bye week. Everybody seems to be coming back a little bit healthy somewhat, but they are at least getting some of this extra adjustment that they need to up on defense. Defensively, they've been giving up points. It hasn't looked exactly like the shutdown defense that they have been, but offensively they've been bailing themselves out. Now, Dallas, they're without DeMarcus Lawrence. They're without Micah Parsons. And I don't really know exactly how this Dallas offense is really going to end up panning well. I think this gives the Lions a bit of a break because especially with that horrid run game that the Cowboys have, I'll take them to win on the road 27-20. All right, this division rival matchup seems pretty obvious. I'll take the Atlanta Falcons -6. I'm confident in this one because last week on a short week, they have now plenty of rest. Kirk Cousins, he's finally cooking. That means Zach Robinson has finally been putting together the offense, and it's starting to click. Now, Carolina, what do I need to say anymore about this dumpster fire of an organization? The Falcons offensively is finally starting to click. Now defensively, they're getting to a point. They had a slip-up last week against Tampa Bay. They're hoping they don't do it again. But this is kind of the Atlanta Falcons team we've been talking about since we previewed the season. I'll take them to win here on the road in Charlotte, North Carolina, 28-21. All right, the Sunday night game, Bengals-Giants, I will take the Cincinnati Bengals here at -3.5. The reason for this, yes, the defense sucks for Cincinnati. But offensively, it's been Joe Burrow over everybody else. 12 touchdown passes and 2 picks this season. He's putting MVP caliber numbers right now. And I know it kind of sucks because it feels so Joe Burrow reliant. The defense can't seem to defend anything. And as of right now, the Bengals are kind of playing with that chip on their shoulder. Now, the Giants' front line I know is very good. Okay, and in the offensive line, better protect Joe Burrow at all costs. But the only thing that I give the Bengals a break for is that the Giants' secondary is not good. So that's where I think the Bengals, they'll cover the points here on a Sunday night game. I'll take them to win 27-21. All right, so this is the Monday Night Football game we've all been waiting to watch. Bills and Jets. I'll take the Bills -1.5. There is so much stuff that is literally going on in New York with Robert Saleh fired, Nate Hackett's been demoted, but here's the takeaway for the Bills that I think could edge on their side. Okay, they elevated the DC to be the interim coach. What does that mean for the shape of the Jets defense? And the Jets defense has been very, very good. So when you elevate somebody who's a key piece of that defense, that might change up a bit. And Robert Saleh was a defensive guy. He gets ran up out of town. This may not look good. Now, Todd Downing is going to make the play calls for the offense with Nate Hackett now stripped. This is Aaron Rodgers' game to potentially try to win. But I don't know if it's going to honestly be that simple. I'm going to take the Bills at -1.5. Give me the points here. 27-23. Monday Night Football. There you go. That's all the picks there for you here on Week 6. So I'm liking with the way the shapes of the favorites have been now. This is much better. Bears -1, Packers, Titans, Ravens, Chargers, Steelers, Lions, Falcons, Bengals, and Bills of all my favorites. And the dogs I love are the Patriots, Saints, and Browns. Those are the 3 underdogs I like this week. Because all the rest of them, I think that this is ideally favorites week this week. I think this is definitely the week all these favorites now start to come. They start to play hard. They start to play like stuff like this stuff matters. So incredible. So I think this is going to be a perfect week. I've got at least my Inferno 5 picks that I know for a fact are my real deals. So keep an eye out on that on my social media. It's going to be a lot of fun to break down. All right, folks, that is going to do it here for the show. Appreciate all of you guys for joining me here tonight. Next week, it's going to be a lot better, and it's going to be a lot more cooking up. So happy I got a chance to showcase my brand new hat. I'm definitely going to start getting some more merchandise to showcase and share with all of you guys what's all cooking at the Snake Sports Talk Show merchandise store. Go online. Link is in the bio. Click it. It'll send you right to the website and start shopping. By the way, it's spooky season, and we've got promos for you. We got 25% off when you use the code SPOOK24. That's SPOOK24. Right after checkout, when you purchase any Snake Sports Talk Show merchandise, go online today. This show is sponsored by BetUS. Where the game begins, $50 or more to your deposit, matching up to 125% bonuses of up to $2,000 when you play. That means more opportunities to win in your first 3 deposits with an account manager as well that keeps you accountable and keeps the fun going. Gambling problem, seek therapy and seek the number in your state to get the help you need because we want you to enjoy it responsibly. BetUS where the game begins, and SeatGeek to get your best seat in the house of your favorite team or your favorite artist or wherever you may be. Using promo code SNAKESPORTS, $20 off of your first purchase of your first ticket. So use SeatGeek today and enjoy the experience of why SeatGeek is the most trusted ticketing app for your next event. That's SeatGeek.com. Don't lose your seat. Promo code SNAKESPORTS for $20 off. We'll see you guys next week. Take care, everyone.